Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivas Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Aradhyo Bhagavan Brajesh Tanayas Tadhama Vrindavanam Ramya Kachidupasana Vrajavadhu Vargena Vakalpita Srimad Bhagavatam Pramana Mamalam Prema Pumartho Maha Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu Matamidam Tatra Dharana Paraha Anarpita Charim Shirat Karunaya Vatirna Kalau Samarpayitum Unnatojvala Rasam Swabhakti Shriyam Hari Purata Sundara Dhyuti Kadamba Sandipita Sada Hridaya Kandare Suratu Vashachi Nandana. Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Jagat Mangala Dvaita Mangala Gunadham Mangala Charitra Sada Mangala Jarana. Hare Krishna. We'd like to welcome all of our YouTube Live listeners, our listeners over Facebook Live, and our dear listeners over Zoom. Welcome to all of you to this day 42 of Sri Gauramrita. We'd like to first announce and congratulate the names of the participants from yesterday's quiz session. We'd like to congratulate Hari Prasad Prabhu, Mother Flavier, Vijay Lakshmi Mataji. We are so happy that you can participate, Mataji. Thank you so much for your wonderful quiz session. Radha Mataji and Ranjani Gopika Mataji. Congratulations to all of you for participating in yesterday's quiz session. Thank you so much. So today in session 42, we will continue to describe the transcendental treasure trove of Sri Krishna Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's youthful devotional pastimes. We'll see how Sri Gadadhar Pandit, he receives pure love of God. And then we see how Gaurasundara enacts the Rasa dance of Vraja Dham in the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. How the Lord blessed Mukunda and other devotees with great mercy, and a poetic description of the beautiful and divine form of Lord Gauranga. And then we'll conclude our discussion by describing the Phala Stuti, the benefits we receive by listening to these transcendental pastimes of Sri Gaurahari. So as we start, Srilalochana Das Thakur, in his Chaitanya Mangal, he describes in Madhya Kanda, chapter 1, a very beautiful pastime of how Sri Gadadhar receives pure love of God. Sri Gadadhar Pandit, as it says here, he is the embodiment of all transcendental qualities. He always stayed near Lord Gauranga, and he chanted the holy names, as we know.
Shri Gadadhar Pandit ki jai. One night, Gadadhar stayed beside the Lord, and being pleased with Shri Gadadhar Pandit, Lord Gauranga gave Gadadhar Pandit his flower, a champaka flower, and said, tomorrow morning, by the mercy of the Vaishnavas, you'll get the rarely attained gift of love of God.
So as we can see here in this picture, this on the right hand side, that is how a champaka flower looks. And Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he offered this champaka flower to Sri Gadadhar out of his pure love for Gadadhar and said that you will be blessed with pure Krishna prema. So the next day, when Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu met with the devotees, the Lord recounted the previous night's talks, wherein Gadadhar had received pure love of God. In a very happy mood, Sri Gadadhar took bath in the Ganges.
And because of this appearance of ecstatic love, Gadadhar, he started quivering. He worshipped Sri Jagannath Dev and worshipped Lord Gauranga, as we said. As we see here on our left-hand side, Gadadhar Pandit is worshipping Lord Jagannath. And on our right-hand side, Gadadhar Pandit is worshipping Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So that's what he would do every day. And Gadadhar, he smeared sandalwood paste on Lord Gaura's body. He hung a celestial flower garland on his neck. And then he praised the Lord with choicest words. And then every day, Gadadhar would render these services to the Lord. Every day, sandalwood paste and garland. Then in the evening, after making the bed for Lord Gauranga, Gadadhar would lie down at the Lord's lotus feet. And within his mind, he was always thinking how to serve the Lord. How do I serve the Lord with more love, more devotion? And with his very sweet talks, he would please the Lord. And Gaurahari, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he would be greatly relishing Gadadhar's nectarian words. One day in Srivas, which is the courtyard of Srivas Thakur, this was the meeting place of all the Vaishnavas. Here, Sri Gaurasundara, he manifested the most enchanting, most devotional, most confidential of all pastimes, the Rasa dance of Sri Vrindavan Dham. So let us transport ourselves to this most beautiful, dearly beloved and confidential place in all creation, Srivas Anga, the courtyard of Srivas Thakur. In fact, this picture is right inside the house of Srivas Thakur, where Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu would actually chant and dance and conduct his nocturnal all-night kirtans. In fact, Gauranga and Gadadhar, they would catch hold of each other's arms and they used to dance together in Sankirtan.
Like it is shown here in this picture so beautifully. The devotees, they would relish in each other's beautiful, beautiful way. How they are actually dancing together. Look at the bliss, look at the smiles, look at the ecstasy. Let us try to experience this ecstasy while being in the midst of all these wonderful Vaishnavas, and in fact, in the audience of directly the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his beloved associate, Sri Gadadhar Pandit. And it is said that Lord Caitanya would hold Gadadhar's hand, and he would also hold the hand of another personality. This is Gadadhar on one side, and the elderly Brahmana on the other side is a personality called as Narahari Thakur. So Lord Gauranga, he would clutch hold of Narahari's hand in his other hand, and Mahaprabhu would reenact the Rasa dance within the courtyard of Srivas Pandit. And when the Lord would dance so elegantly in Kirtan, the devotees, they actually saw the manifestation of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in his Tribhanga Lalita Madan Mohan form, which is bent in 3 different ways, just like Krishna. They would be able to experience the threefold bending form of Madan Mohan Sri Krishna in the personality of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. This is the beauty that was manifesting. Vrindavan Dham is manifesting in Srivas Thakur, and we all are here together with all these esteemed Vaishnavas experiencing this Vrajabhav in Gaura Leela.
So Gadadhar Pandit manifested the form of Srimati Radharani, and Narahari Sarkar Thakur became Madhumati Sakhi. Kivanara Hari Adi Kari Chamara Tulaya Sanjaya Mukunda Vasu Ghoshayadi Gaya. So here about Narahari Sarkar Thakur. When Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur had this vision, when he wrote this song of Gaura Arti, Narahari Sarkar Thakur is there. He is none other than Madhumati Sakhi. And Bame Gadadhar, on the left-hand side of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, is Gadadhar Pandit.
And this is Srimati Radharani, who Gadadhar is manifesting himself as the personification of love and compassion, the mother of the entire universe, Mahabhav Swarupini Srimati Radha Thakurani. Seeing this, the embodiment of Gauranga Mahaprabhu and the ecstasy of Sri Gadadhar, every devotee was chanting, Hari Hari, Hari Hari,
Hari Bol.
And they were able to experience the manifestation of Sri Vrajadham in front of their very eyes, in Srivas Angan, in Navadvip Dham. The Vamsi Vat was manifesting, and they were able to see and have darshan of Sri Vrindavan Dham.
And the son of Mother Shachi, Sachinandana, Sri Gauranga, manifested in front of them the supreme abode of Vrindavan, replete, full of Gopal, gopis, cows, the cowherd boys, the girls of Vraja. They became the Brahmana companions of Lord Gauranga in the age of Kali, as we see on the left-hand side. All the cowherd boys, the cows, they came in Gauranga Leela on the right as associates of Sri Sri Gaurnitai.
So now we're going to show you some very interesting and magical pictures. So let us see. We would now want some comments from all of you, what you see similar. Okay, so please get ready to start writing some comments.
Okay, so take a look at this slide very, very carefully. Look at how Srimati Radharani is sitting in the middle, surrounded by her gopis. All the what each gopi is doing. Take note of that. Take note of the surrounding, the tree and the Jamuna that's flowing behind. And we will ask you in the next picture to find the similarities in this picture and the next picture. Please type in the chat box, what similarities do you find in this picture, and drum rolls, the next picture. here. Tell
Very
us, what similarities do you find in the previous picture that just left and this picture?
We will wait for all of your comments
On the chat.
Do we see the number of personalities? Who has Srimati Radharani transformed into? Srimati Radharani has transformed. The gopis and the other picture have the same instruments. Yes. The personalities are also the same. They all the gopis of Srimati Radharani manifested as Sakhis. Yes, Srimati Radharani manifests as Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Very true. The one who is right behind Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Lord Nityananda. And he has manifested in Vraja Leela, in Krishna Leela, as Ananga Manjari. So now we can see the comparison of both of these pictures together.
Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and Srimati Radharani, look at them. They are in the same exact pose. Behind Radharani is Ananga Manjari, who is none other than the incarnation of Balaram. Balaram himself is also Sri Nityananda Prabhu standing in the same pose.
Srivas.
The only difference is behind them, behind Srimati Radharani is Jamuna, and behind Gauranga Mahaprabhu and his associates, his mother Ganga. But they are playing the exact same musical instruments in the same pose. Their hands and expressions are exactly the same, indicating that Golokera Premadhana Harinam Sankirtana. Wonderful.
So this is how Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, he is giving us Vraja Bhakti. He is giving us an access into understanding the mood, the confidential, the divine mood of Srimati Radharani. This is what Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu has brought for all of us. Through the manifestation of Gaura Leela, Mahaprabhu is giving us access into Sri Krishna Leela. How we are able to worship Krishna, how should we be able to calling out to be, how are we supposed to call out to Krishna lovingly? That is being taught, exemplified by Srimati Radharani herself in the form of this golden personality as Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu in this golden age of Kali Yuga. Hari Om.
So the devotees, they danced around in circle around Lord Gauranga, seeing the moon of Vrindavan rising over Navadvip. Everyone started crying. If you see, even the pictures that are there on your screen are so similar. When the devotees are dancing around Lord Gauranga, similarly, Gaur Gadai, devotees dancing around Gauranga, and Gadai, Gadadhar Pandit. Gadadhar Pandit is none other than Radharani. Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Krishna himself. Just as the devotees of Lord Gauranga are dancing around Gaur Gadai, the gopis are dancing around Sri Sri Radha and Krishna in the same pose.
At one moment, the Lord, he performs Gaura Leela with Sri Gadadhar, like we see on the left. And the next moment, Gauranga Mahaprabhu relished the mood of Sri Gopinath dancing with Srimati Radharani in the Rasa Leela, in the divine companionship of all the gopis. Beholding these enchanting pastimes, the devotees just loudly, weepingly, were just crying by shouting again and again, Hari Hari, Hari Hari.
Jai, Jai. And if you see, before Gaur Nitai manifested, Gaur Gadai were already famous. So we'll see in Navadvip, actually, there are so many deities of Gaur Gadadhar, Gaur Gadai. And this was even before Sri Nityananda Prabhu returned back from his pilgrimage and came to Navadvip, which we'll see in the coming days of this week. how Gaur Nitai manifested. But today we are discussing Gaur Gadadhar, Gaur Gadai. One day, suddenly, these dense, dark clouds, they started rolling in. They were just roaring, just fiercely. And they captured this evening sky. Devotees, they felt very uneasy because they were fearing some imminent danger. They were thinking how to escape this calamity. And so these clouds, actually, they were rolling and howling in ecstasy upon seeing Gaura's pastimes to obtain the mercy of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. But Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu did something miraculous. He picked up a pair of small cup-shaped kartals, and then Mahaprabhu started Dham Sankirtan. Lord Gauranga, he looked up into the sky. He blessed the demigods. And just at that moment when Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu was looking up and chanting Harinam, those fierce, dark clouds dispersed, leaving behind a clear, friendly sky. And the devotees, they felt so relieved. They became very happy, cried out happily. So this is how Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu serves the devotees, removing all the fear or imminent danger within their hearts, simply by chanting the holy names. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Earlier, they were doing Harinam in order to drive away the clouds. And when the clouds left, they continued their Harinam, but this time in celebration of the danger going away. So in good times or bad times, we continue chanting the holy names. Then the Lord danced to the singing of his followers, and the clouds, they descended to the earth in the form of devotees. The clouds did come. They came down heavily, but as devotees, not as rain. They chanted and danced along with the Lord and his entourage. What to speak of the clouds? Even Gaura Hari gave his love to everyone in the three worlds without discrimination. And while dancing with his devotees, this darling of Sachi Mata, he was swimming in the ocean of ecstatic love. His ankle bells, as we can see, they were chiming so sweetly with the movements of the Lord's lotus feet, very gracious, graceful movements of the Lord while chanting and dancing. In fact, all the chaste wives of the Brahmanas, they came out and they started chanting Jai, Jai. This wonderful scene of Harinam just pleased the demigods from the heavens. And all the devotees, they were just enraptured in Krishna Prema. They were chanting and dancing cheerfully with Lord Gauranga. Sri Lochan Das Thakur, he continues to describe how the Lord blessed Kunda and other devotees with such great mercy.
So Srivas Thakur and his three brothers, they would sing auspicious songs all around. They would do ecstatic, blissful kirtans. They glorified the transcendental qualities of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, comparing him to the combined form of Kishore, Kishori, Sri Radha and Krishna. Murari Gupta also very much praised the Lord, and even Mukunda praised the Lord. These devotees were just like honeybees. They were mad. They were hovering over the sweet lotus feet of the Lord, hankering to taste the nectar of his lotus feet. Keeping Gauranga in the center, Lord, the devotees were just chanting in great ecstasy. Some devotees, they were warmly embracing each other, and others, they were just singing the glories of Sri Gaura Hari. And Gadadhar Pandit, as we see here on our right hand side, He fell down at the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, and he just said, he was just seeing the prema that Gauranga Mahaprabhu is manifesting. Gadadhar, just in ecstasy, he just said, what incomparable beauty is standing before me? How is this mercy personification? Without any discrimination, he's giving mercy and he's giving love to everyone. And listening to this praise from his dearly beloved Sri Gadadhar, it is said that Gauranga's lotus face turned pink in ecstasy, like we see here in the picture on our left. Gauranga Mahaprabhu became pink in ecstasy. Tiny bumps of delight, appearing like golden strings of pearls, erupted all over his transcendental body. Expressing his heart's treasure, Sri Gaurahari smilingly said that I am Bhagavan. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead, here to deliver each and every one of you. And at that very next moment, the Lord paid obeisances and begged for blessings from all the Vaishnavas. So like this, the Lord bestowed blessings upon all of his eternal associates. This prema that Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu is manifesting was never, ever, ever shown ever before. And Srila Lochandas Thakur, in chapter 2 of Madhya Khanda of Sri Chaitanya Mangala, he describes a very poetic, it's a very poetic description of the beautiful and the divine form of Lord Gaurahari. So let us see how Sri Lochandas Thakur, in a very poetic way, very, very eloquent words are being used here to compare the body of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Each and every limb of his transcendental feature is here. So please, let us try to take in as much as we can. Let us hear very attentively with our ears. Let us drink with our eyes the nectarian beauty of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
Sri Lochandas Thakur says that one's heart must be made of stone if it doesn't melt upon seeing this gorgeous beauty of Gaurahari. How is it that Providence has created this beautiful body of Lord Gauranga? He was saying his body is soft like butter. Who has churned the butter? Who has churned the nectar to make butter that was used to make the body of Gauranga? Who has squeezed the universe to produce this rasa that has formed the face of Gaurachandra?
So we can try to drink the nectar of this beautiful moon-like face of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu, which is actually this divine face of Sri Gaurasundara, is the embodiment of all rasas.
Then he says, look at those captivating eyes of intense attachment. Who has made those attractive eyes? It's as if that person has added a touch of yogurt, of love to this milk. And therefore it's producing a thick yogurt of intense attachment to Krishna. Then he goes and describes his smile. How beautiful is his smile? Who has added honey to his words and his sweet smiles? Then he describes his body and his face. And he's saying, who has rubbed lightning on his body? And who has rubbed moon on his face? This is the poetic way he's actually describing Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu and glorifying his features. And then he says, look at this divine fragrance of lotus hands and lotus feet. Who has created this picturesque beauty of Lord Gaurasundara? And then he's saying, looking at this beauty of Lord Gaurasundara, all the full moons of every month, they are hopelessly, just helplessly mesmerized by the lovely fragrance of Gaura's lotus feet and lotus hands. And what to look at his divine nails. These nails, they are illuminating the entire universe, so shiny. And if we compare with our nails, they're just, how much ever we try to shine, it just fades away. Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu's nails are naturally shiny. And then he describes his beautiful face. Who has created this captivating moon-like face? Just seeing his face makes me cry affectionate. And then he glorifies the tilak, the shining tilak. Who has painted the shining lines of the tilak? They appear like Indra's arrows, but on the forehead of Lord Gauranga. And then he's saying, look at the wonderful jewels decorating the temple of Gauranga's body. It just increases everyone's attraction towards him. Just catching the sight of Gaura's beauty. What happens? Miracles happen. When we catch sight of Gaura's beauty, the lame people, they start walking again. The atheist and sinner, they start chanting the glories of the holy names and his glories. And these nectarian attributes of Gauranga Mahaprabhu, they fill everyone with delight. Who is Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu? He's Krishna himself in the mood of Srimati Radharani. He's the Chanda avatar, the hidden incarnation. He is here to immerse our hearts in pure love of Sri Radha and Krishna. So here, if we see, in all these pictures, we saw Gauranga Mahaprabhu, Gadadhar Pandit, Narahari Sarkar. But one personality is missing. Who is missing? Sri Nityananda Prabhu. Dakhi kiba dakhi nitai chan vame Gadadhara. On the right hand side of Lord Gauranga Mahaprabhu is Nityananda Prabhu. On the left is Gadadhar Pandit. So today, Sri Lochan Das Thakur described who is on the left, Gaur Gadai. Tomorrow onwards, we will see on the right is Sri Nityananda Prabhu, how Lord Nityananda arrives at Navadvip. In fact, Lord Vishwambhar, he was constantly thinking about Lord Nityananda.
In fact, it is said, Srila Vrindavan Das Thakur says, that while manifesting all of these leelas, it actually was saddening Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. Sri Vishwambhara Rai, Sri Gaurasundara, he was constantly thinking about his beloved Nitai. Vrindavan Das Thakur explains that Nitai's separation became unbearable for Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu. So thus the scene has been set now, that from tomorrow we will now dive in how Lord Nityananda was actually waiting in Sri Vrindavan Dham. So now when the Lord started manifesting Vrindavan Dham in Navadvip, in Nadia, at that time, that was the calling that Nitai, Esho, come now, Nitai. Now is the time for you to come. Because Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu was missing Sri Nityananda Ram. So from tomorrow onwards, we will dive into the nectar of Lord Nityananda Prabhu joining into the Sankirtan pastimes of Sri Gauranga Mahaprabhu.
And the Phala Stuti is one who hears these glorious pastimes of Lord Gaurahari. He'll be able to taste the rare treasures of Prema Bhakti. Just as Lord Vishwambhar, he cleared the rain clouds by chanting the holy names. Similarly, anyone who hears these pastimes with faith, with devotion, the Lord will remove the dark cloud of all of our anarthas, all of the misgivings in our hearts. And then what will happen? Firmly establish Krishna Prem in our hearts. Ekhane rohilo granthe Amrita Lahari Badan bhore ekbar Bolo Hari 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 Hari.
Hare Krishna. So today we will continue our prayers for Vijay Lakshmi Mataji and also for the mother of our very dear Jigna from Toronto. The mother of Jigna, her name is Madhukanta Bain, and she is 81 years, and she has been, tested positive for COVID. So we request all devotees to continuously pray for her. We also continue to pray for Madhubhashini Mataji and family, for our dear Kirti, for Shivani and her family, for Lavanya Mataji and family, for Anjudi and for her mother, for our dearest Flavia and for AJ, and for your family, Flavia, for Radha Mataji from Hyderabad, Keshavi from Hyderabad, Shweta Manjari Mataji from Hyderabad, and all the group members. We've just heard a very sad news that one of the congregation members from Hyderabad has just left his body. So we dedicate this kirtan for them as well. And today also is the birthday of Radha Sarojini Mataji. So we pray for you and we dedicate this kirtan for you. Happy birthday, Mataji. Wishing you a very, very happy birthday. And we also pray for Shamala Gopika, that she has welcomed wonderful Gauranitai at her home. So Shamala, we are dedicating this kirtan for your deities, and at the end of the kirtan, we would also request you to give darshan of your beautiful Shri Shri Doyal Nitai Gaurachandra.
Jai Shri Shri Doyal Nitai Gaurachandra ki jai. Om Ajnanatimidandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Krishna Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare 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 Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Rama Srila Prabhupada ki, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki.
Hare Krishna. So before we open up the lines, we'll just announce the quiz questions for today.
First, how did Sri Gadadhar serve Sri Gaurahari? Second, when did Lord Chaitanya perform Rasa dance and with whom?
Third, who is Madhumati Sakhi in Gaura Leela? Fourth, who came as the associates of Lord Chaitanya?
Fifth, how did Sri Gadadhar praise Lord Gauranga? And Lord Gaurahari's sweet smile is like dash.
7, who is missing on the right side of Lord Gauranga? 8, what is the transformation happened to the atheist and the sinners after seeing Lord Gaura's beauty?
9th, what is the Phala Stuti of listening to these transcendental pastimes of Sri Gaurahari?
Wonderful questions, Shamala. Thank you so much for these very, very wonderful questions. Now we can open up the lines.
Any questions or comments, anyone? Okay, if today there are no more questions. Yes, Shamala Gopika Mata.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Please accept my
Hare
humble
Krishna.
Thank you so much for the beautiful session, Mataji and Prabhuji, and the way that you describe the beauty of Gauranga today. I can just meditate on our beautiful form of the Lord. So thank you so much for that. Is it okay? I can share the darshan
Yes,
now.
please, please.
Shri Shri Dayal Nitai Gaurachandra. Jai Shri Shri Dayal Nitai Gaurachandra Bhavani ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. They are both in Tribhanga Lalit dancing form.
So beautiful, so beautiful.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So just by your mercy, I can set up this altar also with your guidance. So thank you so much for that. And also for the beautiful names. Thank you so much.
Yeah, it somehow was a miracle that we chose the same name. Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you so much, Mataji and Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you for the wonderful darshan. Altar looks very beautiful. Gorgeous altar. Thank you.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Any other questions or comments?
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam. Thank you so much for your session and wonderful person. I have one question, Prabhuji and Mataji. I couldn't understand one line. Now you said like Tribhanga Lalita form in the session also you used quoted that point, right? So what does it mean in the form of the Lord? Tribhanga.
Bhanga means three, and bhanga means bent. So it actually means broken, but still in this context it means bent. So Tribhanga form means Krishna is bent in three places. If you see, he is holding his flute and his head is bent, and this one on his neck he's bent. The other is on his
Waist.
On his waist he's bent like this, and then his leg, one leg is on the top of the other.
So his knee is bent.
So his knee is bent. So neck, waist, and knee is bent. Threefold bending form. And even Lord Gauranga, when he would dance in form of Tribhanga. Tribhanga Gauranga.
Clear, Prabhuji. Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Hare Krishna.
Any other questions or comments? If not, we can end here.
Thank you, Lee, for your comment, Hare Krishna.
Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda ki
Jai.
Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki
Jai.
Chandra Prabhu ki jai. Koti koti dhanavad pranam Mataji Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji. Thank you so much for a nectarian class.
Thank
Hare
you.
Krishna Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Nice Kirtan and everything is good. Very, very nice.
Thank you. Thank you. Hare
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Thank you so much, Mataji Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Hari Bol.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Video
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavad Mata.
Hare
start video.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna Prabhuji,
Krishna.
Dandavad Pranam.
Hare
Thank
Krishna
you so much.
Mataji. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Hare
Krishna Mataji Prabhuji, Dandavad Pranam.
Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you,
Krishna
Mataji.
Mataji Prabhuji. Dandavad Pranam. Thank you.
Hare Krishna. Thank you.
ये बता ले